Can you help? Can you help me? Can you help? Self-Helpless! Can you help? Can you help me? Can you help? Self-Helpless! Can you help? Can you help me? Can you help? Self-Helpless!
Thanks to BetterHelp for supporting Self-Helpless. Visit BetterHelp.com, that's better, H-E-L-P, and join the over 500,000 people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. Self-Helpless listeners receive a special offer of 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/selfhelpless. This episode of Self-Helpless is also brought to you by Simple Contacts, an easy and convenient way to renew your contact lens prescription or reorder your contacts from anywhere within minutes. Get $20 off your first Simple Contacts order by visiting simplecontacts.com/helpless and entering promo code HELPLESS. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Self-Helpless. I'm Kelsey Cook.
I'm Delaney Fisher.
And I'm Taylor Tomlinson.
And today we're going to be doing another book review. We know you guys love them. We love doing them too.
Totally.
We're doing the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Hell yeah.
By Stephen Covey or Covey. I'm not really sure, but it's one of those things. And this is something a lot of helpsters have recommended this book, and Taylor's been wanting to especially read this book.
Yes,
for a while.
I did read this one after reading. I was gifted the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens.
That's
that's
right.
In middle
Back in
school.
our
Throwback.
First self-help book.
That was my first self-help book, which is, just an extension of this one, because they're not people yet. So let's give them different habits. But I think it's actually pretty similar. But yeah, it did help a lot. I
That's
feel like my grades
awesome.
got better.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been wanting to read this one for a while as well. We're going to start with a quotable, as we always do. You guys know that. This is from Stephen Covey, the author of the book. Live out your imagination, not your history.
I like that.
That's good.
The past is the past, people.
Yeah, it is. Stop repeating those patterns.
I like that a
Future
lot.
is up to you, baby.
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about what we're doing today, people. Do you wish you were more effective in life? Maybe you'd like to achieve more at work, or perhaps you'd like to be more loving and a devoted partner.
Barf.
You'll only Some people want that, Taylor. You'll only improve in life if you first change yourself. We are creatures of habit. Our routines define our characters and direct our life paths. What habit changes can help you become more effective. This book focuses on how and why we should work to establish the following habits. 1, being proactive. 2, beginning with an end in mind. 3, putting first things first. 4, thinking win-win. 5, seeking first to understand, then to be understood. 6, synergizing. And 7, sharpening the saw.
Number 7 is just murder.
Yes, you just kill everybody.
Prepare for
'cause
battle.
you're so exhausted of trying to
man.
complete these things. I get a Tony Robbins vibe from this a little bit. You guys
This
feel like we're
is-
going to be
Oh, yeah.
just
Yeah.
juiced up afterward?
Who knows? I like so far thinking win-win. I do that with most endeavors, like even if things don't go as according to plan, like I've learned something. So I feel like I have that mindset pretty locked down.
Yeah.
And beginning with the end in mind. Anytime I'm going to start something, I try to have like a big vision for like what ideally I want to happen, and then I kind of just chunk it down into baby steps.
Yeah. I always begin with an end in mind, usually in relationships.
I knew
I
it.
thought you were going to say I thought you were going to say death, and I'm like, oh no.
No, I went a little softer. It's first thing in the morning, but whenever I
how
start
that's
dating
softer.
somebody, I'm like, let's talk about all the ways this could go poorly. I'm a great time, you guys. I'm so fun.
Something's going on with Taylor right now. She's
I'm really good. I'm really good.
revved up.
I have tea in this cup.
I can't wait to learn what synergizing means for this person.
I feel like you're gonna make it sexual in some way, knowing you.
Well, isn't that like what, most big corporations, they'll have the board meetings, like, we gotta synergize.
Yes.
Let's get
See,
it together.
It's such a
right?
bro-y corporate word.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's like a Tony Robbins vibe. It's just
Perhaps.
like a
Yeah.
lot of jumping on baby trampolines, getting your mind right.
I guess we're about to find out.
I know.
Yeah, shadow boxing. Just feels like the direction we're headed in today.
All right, so habit number 1 is be proactive and take control of your fate. All right, so don't be a slave to your initial reactions. Instead of just reacting to the world around you, develop habits that help you proactively influence your situation. Ooh, that's hard for me. I'm very reactive. So I've been trying to be better about this lately. Because to me, being proactive is just like, I'm going to make sure I never have to react to anything bad. Like, that's my thinking, but you can't do that. You have to be proactive about your feelings when bad things happen because they will. Number 2, incorporate proactive self-talk. Are you frequently saying things like, it wasn't my fault or it's out of my hands? This type of self-talk demonstrates a reactive and powerless mindset. Instead, focus on taking responsibility for your life by incorporating an empowered mindset that uses self-talk such as, this is all my fault. I suck. No, I'm joking. I changed it.
Oh, no.
Incorporate.
Are you okay to do this episode today? I'm worried our listeners are not.
I'm coming in hot. I
What
apologize.
happened before this episode that I haven't heard about yet? Because I feel
No, I'm good actually. Everything's great.
okay. If this is you and you're great,
I'm going
a
to do
little
the
worried.
bit too much. No, you should use positive self-talk such as I've decided to, or let's find a solution to this problem. Focus on your circle of influence. Imagine your life viewed within 2 circles. So circle 1 is your circle of concern. That represents all the things you're concerned about, ranging from your electricity bill to the threat of nuclear war. Wow. What is
Okay.
That's a
Big
lot.
gap.
This circle contains many things that are out of your control. Okay, so that's like worrying. Circle 2, the circle of influence, represents all the things you can actually do something about. Proactive people focus on their circle of influence. Proactive people don't waste energy focusing on things they can't control. Take a 30-day proactivity challenge. So whenever you catch yourself blaming someone or something external for a problem you have, remind yourself that the final effect that the issue has on you is influenced by your reaction to it. Ooh, that's good.
I like that a lot.
That's really good. Be empowered and proactive by exercising the freedom you have in choosing how to respond. Yeah, I love that. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely something I struggle with a lot, is letting go of the fact that it's not even letting go of control because you don't have any. It's letting go of the fact that you can't control a lot of things.
Yeah.
And just taking the place to take control is in how you're going to handle situations, not
Yeah.
whether or not they're going to occur.
Letting go of
Totally.
the illusion of control.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I know that's something I've struggled with in this business because it's easy to go like, oh, I just need all the right people to do all these things for me and see me the right way. And we mentioned it in a recent episode, but I looked at like my biggest, like the main things going on in my career right now, and they're pretty much all like things that I said, okay, I'm just going to start doing this and see what happens.
Yep.
Wrist of Fury, this podcast, putting out a comedy album last year. It's like, those are things I just was like, okay, that's within my control, and let's just create something and see where it goes. And then it's been really fun, and they've been successful, so that's awesome.
Exactly.
But yeah.
I totally agree with everything you just said. Everything that I'm super happy with in my life has been something that I've just been like, all right, I'm going to do this thing and see where it goes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a nice thing when you take back your power and you kind of create the life that you want. You're not running on anybody else's times
Yeah.
or terms, or you're only doing stuff that you want to do.
Yeah,
and
taking
then
back your power.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
then people can kind of come. Like they see, oh, you started this cool thing. How do I get involved? How can I help you? How can I support you? That kind of thing.
Well, that's attractive too. And like whatever, I know we had like our Reiki healer on and all this, the energy stuff of like that the universe, quote unquote, can feel when you're being needy, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to like when you're being attractive by being like, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Yeah.
That's an attractive energy as opposed to like, may I have this? Like very Gollum, like, please. Like nobody wants that in any way. And even if you're not actively saying that, I think people can just sense it.
Yeah, you gotta play hard to get with the universe.
For sure.
That's what you gotta do. You just gotta walk
Absolutely.
around like, I mean, I don't even care really. And they're like, oh my God, here's all the money.
You're so cool. Yeah.
Be my friend.
Yeah.
Well, also when you take control of your own stuff and you start, whatever that means to you, you're more authentic because you're just doing the stuff that you're excited about. Where if you're kind of going off of somebody else's guidelines or trying to put yourself in their box, the end result might not be as great because you're not really being you. So
such
that's
a
what
good
I
point.
have found too. I'm
Such a good point.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Yeah, and men like a challenge, and God is a man. So, Neg him.
Please put that on a t-shirt and sell that after shows. Oh my God. I used to do a joke about that, like, one of my religious coworkers came to one of my shows and she was like, that's like, God's not going to like that. Like, God doesn't like people who talk like that or whatever. And I had the thought, like, I'm just playing hard to get, you know?
Yeah.
God is a man. Like, I don't want to be all, like, beggy and shit. Like,
Yeah.
you know, a little bit
My
bad
God
girl.
is a lady.
Yeah. And that's you. That's nice. That's
nice with a pat
That's-
from Kelsey.
That's sweet.
Okay, so habit 2, begin with the end in mind. It's crucial to have the desired end firmly in your mind before you start a task. The more exact and realistic the mental picture of the action is, the better its execution will be and the better the results. This is true for both short-term and long-term goals. In the short term, before you start a new project, write down exactly what results you desire and what steps you need to attain those results. In the long term, imagine you are at your funeral. Okay. A little dark.
That took a
but
turn.
Okay. What do you want people to say in your eulogy? For what do you want to be remembered? Write a personal mission statement. Define your own creed, what kind of person you want to be, what you hope to achieve in life, what your basic values and principles are. This document will take time and introspection and several rewrites. Know that this document may evolve and change througut your life.
Ooh, I like that. Let's write our eulogies right now. What would you like people to say about you?
I just want people to think I'm nice.
That's the funniest thing I have ever heard.
No, that's the last thing I care about. I want. What do you want?
Today.
I think this is gonna sound very cheesy. That I was a good listener and
You're so cute.
I tried to, I tried my best to make an impact and leave the world better than how I found it, kind of situation.
A lovely patron of the gentle barn.
Yes, opened up her own gentle barn in her backyard at the age of
A
65.
non-pushy vegan.
He's very reasonable.
What did you say? Oh, vegan positive? Is that what
Yes.
you called me?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that is such a funny label. I should totally freaking put that on my Instagram or some shit.
Yeah.
Vegan light, Delaney Fisher. No, I don't know. I think just
You're
that.
a palatable vegan.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like impact and hopefully kind to people and was admitted when she was imperfect.
Yeah,
You know?
she wouldn't eat meat, but wasn't a bitch about it.
Taylor can write my eulogy.
Is this good? If you say anything in that soft voice, it's gonna sound great. Yeah, it's like, dressed a little weird sometimes, but had the best intentions.
Yes.
Never got a haircut.
Never got a haircut.
Never got a
Colored her own
professional
hair.
haircut.
Yeah. Just make your eulogy an ASMR session. Just start tapping on the microphone. What? What is this?
Yeah, just like a bullet point of 10 things. Loved Google Docs. Maybe it is a Google Doc, my eulogy.
Yeah.
That's the format I wanted in. What about you guys?
What about you, Kels? What do you want?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't really prepare for this beforehand. This feels like
You'd
so
be crazy
much
if
pressure.
you had.
Yeah.
If you pulled out a piece of paper like you were expecting to win an Emmy.
Yeah. It just rolls out onto the floor like a CVS receipt. I know I really value being a good friend and a good family member. Like being if you're in my life, I want you to love that I'm in your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I love the people in my life a lot. So
Yeah.
I would want to be seen as a very good like partner, daughter, friend, that type of a thing. And then I'm like made people laugh and made them happy, I guess.
That's nice.
That's a really nice one.
Taylor's still nice for you?
Yeah, no, I want people to go up and be like, she changed the game. That is show business. I want all of my ex-husbands there. Like, I fucked up. I didn't appreciate what I had. No, I'm kidding.
Are you?
I mean, I don't know. It's so dumb because anytime I do think about like eulogies and stuff, I'm like, oh, I'm not even gonna be there, so who cares? Like,
Right.
But you do also have that like legacy thing in your head of like, I mean, I'm
What
sure
do
we
they
both
leave?
want to be like one of the best comedians.
Of course.
By the
yeah.
time we're in our 40s or whatever, we want to be
Yeah.
like one of the pillars.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
know, that's always your goal.
Yeah.
And then I want to all the same things you said. I want to have been like a good daughter and sister and partner and
Yeah.
friend and that I was funny and considerate and
Yeah.
just
Those are all good things.
I don't know. It is hard to say. It's hard to do
It
your
does
own
feel
eulogy.
cheesy. It
feels
just got
weird.
really real.
Yeah, it's just like anyway. So we're all gonna die. Habit 3.
You know what I think is not, I want to say a better exercise in this because I think this is helpful, but the Artist Way does one where you write a letter to yourself as your child self, and then you write a letter to yourself as like you at 80.
Yeah.
Love
And
that.
I love the one from you at 80 because it's like, what would you tell yourself now? What were you proud that you did? What would you have spent less time worrying about shit like that? I think that's good because you're still
Yes.
alive in this situation to talk to you now.
Yeah, I think that's way better. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And then the one from you as a child, that's like almost a way to foster gratitude for what you have.
Absolutely. It's such a good exercise.
Yeah.
Such a good one.
Yeah.
Because with the eulogy thing, like you said, you can be like, well, I'm not even there, so why does it matter?
Right.
You know, but I think it's better to do this other one.
Yeah.
I liked it. That was good. Okay.
Yes.
Habit number 3, put first things first. Time management is an important aspect of being an effective person. First things first.
Oh,
is
don't
a
you know, Delaney? The worrier with all your time management. This is for you.
Oh my gosh, seriously. Oh my gosh. First things first is a simple and powerful maxim to help you remember how to frame your time management. It requires you first categorize your tasks by priority level, which I do and often fail. Categorize your task using 2 dimensions, urgency and importance, creating a 2x2 matrix with 4 quadrants. This sounds like some fun homework, guys. Listen up. Quadrant number 1, urgent and important. This includes crises. Oh, have fun. Quadrant number 2, non-urgent and important. This includes building important relationships, planning your future, etc. Quadrant 3, urgent and non-important. This includes such tasks as answering the phone. Quadrant number 4, non-urgent and non-important. These are generally wastes of time. Okay. So for long-term effectiveness, the most important tasks to focus on are those that are in quadrant 2, which is non-urgent and important. This category includes such tasks as writing your personal mission statement. If you focus on completing these types of tasks, you will be proactively preventing crises from emerging. Those tasks from quadrant 1. A good first step in implementing this habit, think about a quadrant 2 activity that you've been neglecting, one that would significantly impact your life if you did it well. Commit in writing to doing more of it. So again, quadrant 2 is non-urgent and important. So for me, I immediately think I need to start exercising frequently and start maybe cooking more nutritious food. And like, technically it could be seen as urgent and important because your health should be urgent.
Right.
But it's not something like I've been diagnosed with something and I got to do, well, I mean, we could talk about that. That'll be my good shit.
Yeah.
But I haven't been diagnosed with something that I really need to reverse like tomorrow and go hard on it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
This quadrant thing trips me up a little bit because it's so subjective.
Yes.
There's no mayor of urgency that's going to be like, that is urgent, that is not urgent. Like that's different for everybody. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like to measure this on like, does it have a deadline? Like, does it have a deadline? Because if it has a deadline, and if it's for me, if I'm running, my business, if I've told a customer that their product is going to get there at a certain date, that's urgent and important for me because that's a deadline. But if it's something where like, I really need to revamp my website, that might be important, but not super urgent.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that could probably wait until I have a little bit of free time or, something like that,
I think I'm distracted by the fact that whenever the word quadrant comes in, it just feels like you're unnecessarily overcomplicating it. It's like you could just
hurts my head.
Yeah, it's like, does it need to be done now? Do that first. Is it going to become something that needs to be done now if you don't do it soon? Do that next. Like that. This quadrant thing is, what are we, astronauts? Come on.
Yeah, like, well, so like non-urgent and non-important might be like, oh, I need to at some point organize the papers in my drawer. Where it's like, yeah, I guess that could wait.
Yeah.
Maybe it make me feel better. But yeah, like you said, it's kind of different for everybody. Yeah. I just kind of look at like, does this task support my long-term, intention or goal? And does this task not? Or can this task be delegated to somebody else? Or is this something that I have to do personally?
Yeah.
Those are some questions I kind of ask myself.
But also, if you have really bad anxiety like I do, sometimes you're just not in a place to handle urgent tasks. And you're like, I'm going to organize my sock drawer to calm down.
I was just, yeah, exactly. I don't like this whole, these are generally wastes of time. Get the fuck off. Let me do. We're like recovering workaholics. We're trying to tell ourselves it's okay to do things that are quote unquote waste of time.
Yeah.
Let me watch Breaking Bad for the millionth time. Like, let me just sit and fucking enjoy something.
This is triggering for us.
I know. I got all fired up. Don't tell me what to do. You're not my real dad.
I have a feeling we don't have any specific examples in here from the book, but I would assume that's something like polishing the paper clips. Probably not something that you really need to do.
Paper clips.
You know what I mean?
How did your mind even think of that?
If you're doing that, you need to see a doctor.
Non-urgent, and not important. It doesn't like that.
I mean, that sounds like a compulsion.
That would
sounds...
not matter, right? But again, like some people have
Are
to
you
ask
doing
themselves.
that?
No.
How did you just pulled that out of your ass?
I know, that was too weird.
I'm thinking of the most like meaningless task that we can.
You just came up with it so quickly. It's like if you were in bed with someone and they're like, I don't know, what if we tried this? And you're like, dear God, what? They're like, I didn't even think about it. I just suggested it. And you're like, I don't think you did. I think that came from somewhere real.
Just don't do it, you guys. It's not necessary, you know. Yeah, I think it's like I really like taking breaks to organize things because I find that very calming and relaxing. Same. So like I see that as fun time. So some people don't see that as like a fun time or a fun activity. Right. So yeah, but no, I mean, if it's something that really just doesn't have to be done and you find yourself like maybe it's part of procrastination or like resistance that you're experiencing because you're afraid to do the thing that you actually want to do, then I think, that's maybe stop doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? Well, BetterHelp is here for you people. I absolutely love BetterHelp. I've been using it for almost a year. My therapist is fantastic. She walks me through guided meditations. She's given me like practical tools to help with my workaholism and anxiety, and she is the best. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in under 24 hours. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It is professional counseling done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's counselor network, including expertise which may not be available in your local area. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if needed. The service is available for clients worldwide. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions, so you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. Visit their website and read testimonials that are posted daily. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit betterhelp.com/selfhelpless. That's better, HELP, and join the over 500,000 people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. Special offer for Self-Helpless listeners gets 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/selfhelpless.
This episode of Self-Helpless is brought to you by Simple Contacts. As the only one in this group that has poor eyesight.
Oh, I have it.
You do?
I just don't wear contacts.
Oh.
I'm just a hazard on the road.
Oh, how bad are your eyes?
Very bad.
Are they?
Yeah.
And you don't wear contacts?
No.
Why aren't you trying this?
I don't know, because I'm scared.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why? Have you ever put in eye drops for anything?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It's just one more step.
But these eye drops will help you see. Oh my gosh, I'm horrified. All right, I'm sorry. I'm like really blind, so the fact that you're walking around a little fuzzy, that's crazy to me. Yeah, but I know why you don't, because like all of us, we really dread our annual appointment to renew your prescription. And that's why I was so excited about Simple Contacts sponsoring us. It's like, it's this great new app, and it makes the time-consuming prescription renewal process just so much easier. So Simple Contacts lets you renew your prescription and reorder your brand of lenses from anywhere in minutes. Simple Contacts brings the doctor's office to your home. The vision test is designed by doctors, and every test is carefully reviewed by a doctor. Okay, so this isn't like some kid at Berkeley going, you know what would be a cool app? These are doctors. Simple Contacts offers an amazing selection with every brand of lenses, and their prices are hard to beat. The eye exam is just $28, and they offer free shipping. Okay, please note the Simple Contacts vision test isn't a replacement for your periodic full eye health exam. They will test that your current prescription still helps you see 20/20 and renew that prescription, but they don't write completely new prescriptions or examine eye health. So this still is great for me, because like a lot of times I just need the same prescription. I just need the same lenses. And they won't let you order more until you go in and have wind blown in your eye. So this is how you can avoid that. So to save $20 on your first Simple Contacts order, go to simplecontacts.com/helpless and enter the promo code HELPLESS at checkout. That's $20 off your first Simple Contacts order when you go to simplecontacts.com/helpless and enter the promo code HELPLESS at checkout. All right, habit number 4, think win-win. If you think win-win, you negotiate and communicate with others to find a solution that suits all parties. This builds positive relationships because each interaction strengthens the relationship rather than eroding it. This means your relationships will be more positive and longer lasting overall. A good exercise to start with is to think of an important relationship you have where you'd like to develop a win-win mentality. Put yourself in the shoes of the other party and write down what you believe would constitute a win for them. Write down what results would be a win for you. Approach the other party and discuss the means by which you both can have a mutually satisfying agreement.
I don't think like this at all.
I don't know if I'd
Really?
whip out an agreement with my friend and be like, listen, right? Is that what this
We
is?
both want to win.
Yeah. What do you want from me and what do I want from you? Is that kind of the situation? How do you bring that up over a brunch?
Again,
you know?
this just feels like it's been overcomplicated to just be
Yeah.
like, try to help enter every situation and try to find the win-win solution.
Don't be a selfish twat.
Yeah.
It's like, that's
Pretty
the
simple.
Spark Note version of that. Just like, I don't know. Right? I don't
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe
it does
it's-
seem so overcomplicated.
I wonder if it's more deciding if the relationship is something that you want to continue, though, too. Like maybe for some people, writing things out, like, what am I actually getting? Is this person actually filling me up or opposite or depleting me? Maybe that's something to
I don't
do,
think it is. I think
right?
I think
This
they're
is
talking
how-
about when you're in a relationship with
Right.
somebody thinking win-win. But I think that's
Right. I guess that's just kind of setting expectations like we've talked about before, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're romantically involved with somebody, this is what I expect from you as my partner, and what do you expect from me as your partner? And
yeah. How's everyone going to be happy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that seems like that's probably figured out from
Yeah.
early on.
Shall I move on to habit 5?
Yes.
Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Develop the skill of empathetic listening. Don't just listen to words. Attend to the feeling, behavior, and meaning behind them. If you learn to listen empathetically, people are more likely to be open to you, and people will likely reciprocate by considering your opinion and advice.
That's an important one.
That is an important one,
Seek first to understand, yes, then to be understood.
especially in relationships.
Yeah.
I've had to talk about this a lot in therapy, not being so like attacky during
Right.
fights and
Not taking
being
everything so personally.
Yeah. Doing more of the like, I feel this way when you do this thing.
Right. Yeah.
Not like,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like to give a
and-
lot of information about my background to
Yeah.
be like, let me set this up for you so you know exactly where I'm coming from
Yes.
with all my weird idiosyncrasies, you know?
Right, right.
You're just making it easier for them to empathize with you.
Yeah.
But if you do that and the other person's like, I still don't understand, you're like, oh, okay, well then I have to go.
Yeah. What
Bye.
else can
Bye.
I say? Yeah, what else can
Yeah.
I do here?
All
All
right.
right. Habit number 6. Here we go. Synergize. Synergize by treating others with openness and respect. The previous 5 habits will prepare you for this behavior of effectiveness. Synergy means a situation wherein contributions of many add up to a total that exceeds the combined contributions of the individuals. When people synergize, they listen to each other, put themselves in each other's shoes, use the contributions of others as a springboard to create something great. They're on the same side. They're tackling a shared challenge. They're not fighting each other. See your interactions with others as an adventure. The outcome of an adventure is not completely under your control. This mindset requires openness and self-confidence. Make a list of people you find it difficult to discuss things with. If you were more confident and open-minded, could you find synergies between your perspective and theirs?
Ooh, I like the outcome of an adventure is not completely under your control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's so
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
That is true.
I find myself, like as soon as I know somebody's like background or history or childhood stuff, I tend to I understand why they do certain things.
Yeah.
And
For sure,
I
yeah.
feel like I like to know that stuff about people like really quickly. So I tend to like overshare about my own stuff. And then
same.
I want to hear all about their stuff.
Yeah.
And so when things kind of pop up, you're like, oh, I totally understand why this person does that. I've also been in like situations where I've defended friends from like because of interactions or something that were taken the wrong way. And I've been like, oh, you don't understand because this is something that they're dealing with. And, like I get that. I get why that reaction happened or something. So
Yeah.
I always think it's really important. That's why I don't do well with like surfacey, how you doing acquaintance conversations because I'm just like, oh, I'm bored.
Hey, you want to synergize?
I need to synergize or else I just like, I don't feel connected.
Hey,
at
one time
all.
I showed my tits for a meatball recipe. You ever done
What have you
anything
got?
wacky like that? Hey, just in an elevator with a stranger. Like, okay, I'm gonna get off on this floor and take the stairs. Think so?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, and habit number 7, sharpen the saw if you want to keep sawing. So lumberjacks can't always be sawing. They also have to pause to sharpen their saw. Ooh.
I like that.
Yeah. Self-care is essential to lasting effectiveness in your life. So stay physically fit, maintain spiritual health, stay mentally healthy, and take care of your social and emotional health.
Easier said than done.
Yes,
That's
it
a
is.
lot. Yeah.
To ensure you truly sharpen your saw or maintain your self-care, write down activities that contribute to your well-being in each of the 4 dimensions. Pick one activity in each dimension for each week. All
I
right.
like that.
Yeah.
I really like that. I'm
Yeah.
a big fan.
Yeah. I just I try to like just think about what I need that day just for a couple minutes. Like I just kind of check in. I'm not one of those people that does like a self-care morning routine to a T every morning. I just can't.
Really?
I can't seem to stick with the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
I get bored. It feels like more work. Like it just
Yeah.
feels like a chore. So I have to just kind of check in like what do I feel like I need right now? Oh, I feel like I need to stretch, or I feel like I need to meditate for a few minutes, or I feel like I need to just go and grab myself a healthy meal. Like and so
Yeah.
it always changes on like what do I actually feel like I need.
Like intuitive.
Yeah,
eating type of
intuitive
thing.
self-care.
Yeah. That's why I love doing this podcast because we all self-care very differently.
Yeah.
So like it's our listeners hopefully hear one of us doing something like, oh yeah, that fits for me.
Yeah, totally.
That makes
How do you
sense.
guys do it?
Self-care?
Yeah. Do you guys have like a routine that you've been sick? I know, Kelsey,
I
you're doing like
do.
meditation and journaling and stuff, right?
Yeah, having the planner is actually the reason that I've been able to stick to a morning routine now because I've incorporated it as part of that day's to-do list.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's like
good.
when I write in my following week, it's like every morning starts with tea and smoothie, meditate, morning pages. And it's just like I knock those 4 things out. It really doesn't take like long at all. I've always built it up in my head to be like, oh, well, I'm not gonna have time. I have to do this stuff. It's like if I'm real with myself, I always have 10 minutes to meditate.
Yeah.
I just do.
Yeah.
And it's actually, I feel like it's actually helping.
Yeah?
Like really helping. I was on the road this past weekend in a situation that I'd been having so much anxiety about for like months. It was this college gig and it turned out to be lovely, but just like the travel of it and being kind of in the middle of nowhere by myself was really, really stressing me out. And I was proud. Like I felt like I handled the travel really well this time. And I think
That's
it's
awesome.
because meditating is helping me like self-soothe more and stay more grounded before like
Yeah.
freaking out. So
Yeah.
I think it's helping me, which is nice.
What about you, Taylor, as far as self-care routine or not routine?
I haven't had a routine lately. I think after you like hit a big like upset in your life, I think like the most important thing you can do, and we'll probably talk about this on a different episode, is like just what you're talking about is being intuitive and kind of learning to listen to yourself again and what you need and what would make you feel good and thinking things through before you do them, as far as like traveling or relationships or even like biting off more than you can chew in whatever sense of the word. Yeah, I think that's more of what I've been doing lately. Is just like, okay, like, am I sad right now? What do I need to do for that? Am I feeling anxious about this thing? What do I need to do? Am I, feeling ready to go travel and do a weekend of shows? No. All right, I'm going to cancel. Like, just those types
more
of things.
proactive.
Yeah, more like instead of getting to that situation and trying to push through and putting yourself in a situation where you're like, oh, I could have taken care of myself instead. Just trying to be, like you said, more proactive about it. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's good.
Was there one thing in particular from this book that you guys took away, like something that really impacted you that you feel like you're going to use going forward? So I feel like that's always the goal when we read a book, especially a self-help book on the podcast. You're like, if I could take even one really strong like nugget of wisdom, it's a success.
I think the next time you guys come over, you're going to see posters of quadrants all over my home.
Playing Foursquare.
I have a quadrant for every activity I do. That's a really good question. I think a lot of this we've kind of touched on, you know, in other books or other guests and stuff like that.
Yeah, in different ways.
You know, I love all self-improvement books. I will read every single one gladly. But you do notice that after a while, it seems like everybody's saying the same thing, but they're using different words because obviously the way that their language is going to connect with a different type of person than maybe you are a badass language or what, you know, like everybody's different. So I feel like I've implemented a lot of this for me personally already. What about you guys? Did anything stick out for you?
Yeah, the positive self-talk, I think,
Yeah.
is always good to be reminded of.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Just to touch on what you were saying, I think self-help is kind of like a religion in that way, where it's like it's just the same kind of basic principles over and over, but it's good for us to keep like worshiping them or like hearing them and absorbing them. This is like our little church, you know, of like just to be reminded and all that stuff is good.
I think there's so many people who are very anti self-help and self-improvement, and they say stuff like, well, how come everything's not perfect after you read one book? And it's like the same reason you don't get abs after going to the gym one time.
Exactly.
You do it
so true.
every day. It's
true.
It's a daily practice, and I love hearing how everybody explains it differently and the different experiences that worked for them. I would say like all of this was just like good reminders for things that I feel like I've been aware of.
Yeah.
You know?
I love the saw analogy. I think that's what stood out to me most.
Yeah.
That lumberjacks can't always be sawing. They also have to pause to sharpen their saw. I'm like, oh, I felt real dull sometimes, you know, where it's like, oh, I've run myself into the ground and not paused to get back on my feet. So that makes sense.
I would say the one I'm struggling with the most is working on the thing that's the biggest priority first before a lot of other stuff. I tend to be like, well, I'm just going to get up and do the dishes really quick. And then I'm going to organize this drawer. And then
that's resistance.
And then I have 10 things that I've done. And I'm like, I'm so drained. I don't feel like doing that thing anymore.
Yeah.
So I know that's resistance. And I know I'm being a perfectionist about my projects and stuff. And so I've been really trying to get out of that habit.
Yeah.
Those menial tasks will make you feel productive, but they're without the anxiety of like, I got to organize this drawer perfectly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I think they're relaxing.
Yeah,
For sure.
Gotta let that go.
All right.
Well, that was the book. Hope you guys liked it.
Absolutely.
To help us choose next month's book for the review, send us suggestions at selfhelplesspodcast@gmail.com or join our Patreon to vote in our Helpster's Choice poll, which is very cool. And you get to pick what we talk about.
Yeah. And we have an iTunes review this episode. This is from Tucker B. I love these women. Listening to them feels like I'm hanging out with friends. They are hilarious and unashamed in their pursuit of being better and doing better. Listen, love, and learn. Thank you so much,
Thanks, Tucker.
That's so sweet. If you haven't left an iTunes review yet, we so appreciate it. So give it a gander, people, and
Give it a gander.
leave some stars, and
Give it the old 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You could get featured on the show.
Yes. We got some segments.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
Okay, Delaney, you said that you had a good shit.
I do have a good shit, you guys. Okay, so I don't know if you remember this. This was a while ago. I told you guys that I went in to see a doctor, and they told me that my thyroid levels were not great. And I was like 3 times above where the average person should be. And so basically my doctor told me that I was pretty much on the cusp of hypothyroidism, and I think that's the correct. Oh my god, the thyroid stuff I've been trying to figure out. It is so confusing.
Yeah.
With the T3s and the T4s and we should get somebody on the show to explain this shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Simply. But she basically told me, you know, I wanted to have a check-in with you in a few months, and if things haven't kind of leveled out, you'll probably need to go on medication just like indefinitely.
Wow.
And so I don't take hearing that lightly. I definitely was basically like, give me some time to just process this, and I'm going to make a couple changes, and I just kind of want to see where I'm at. And so after that, that's around the time I went plant-based, you know, I adopted the vegan diet again. And then I was going off birth control pill because right after that appointment, we had Dr. Jolene Brighton on to discuss post-birth control syndrome, which you should definitely listen to that episode if you haven't. And she was talking about how being on birth control for so long can affect your thyroid and your nutrients and all that type of stuff. And so I think I remember asking her on the show, like, I just went off of this. How long do you think I should kind of wait until I get my levels, blood tests and stuff again? And she said about 6 months. So I called my doctor and I said, I'm gonna postpone our 3-month check-in for another 3 months because I'm doing some shit. Don't worry about it. And so I went in last week. All of my levels are back to normal. Every single one, dude. And all I did, and again, I'm not saying this works for everybody, but this obviously worked for me. I went plant-based and I went off the birth control pill. That's the only thing I can think of that as far as how I've changed my lifestyle.
Incredible.
So I was really excited to hear that I would not be needing to go on medication. And I know that some people will have to, no matter what kind of, if they're on plant-based and they're off the pill. I know that it's everybody's different, but I'm just very happy about that. I don't because of my personal experience with Western medicine and holistic medicine, I always try to do holistic first because in my experience, that's what healed me in the past. And I've actually gotten very poor advice from doctors in the past that made me worse. So I always take a pause and see what I can do and then kind of treat it as a last resort.
For sure.
So I'm very happy about that. That's my good shit.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. You have something, Tay?
Sure. I have a defuck that's kind of funny. I feel like I've talked about it on the podcast before, and this is not a knock on my parents. They're very nice. But I think we've talked about how like my parents have made comments about my appearance like too much, like as an adult, where they'll be like, where they're like, well, you're beautiful now, like shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
I've spent the weekend, I had San Diego shows, and so I saw my family, and at one point I ran an errand with my dad, and he turns to me out of nowhere, and he just goes, you look great. He's like, did you ever think you'd look like this?
Oh my God.
And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, like thin. And I was like,
what? Dude.
Oh my God.
I know. And
Your dad said that?
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I was uncomfortable in high school. And he's like, I know you were. I was like, oh my God. What
He just keeps digging.
Keeps digging.
Digging.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know how to take it. It's like one of those things where in the moment you're like, this is whatever. And then like 20 minutes later, you're like, okay.
That's sad. That's
so
sunk in
sad.
a little.
Yeah, I tried to do a joke about it at the Laugh Factory the other night where I'm just like, I'm so glad to hear that now when it's too late to do anything. Like, now's when I need to hear that I'm
already
pretty.
a comedian.
Yeah.
You already ruined me.
You already ruined
fucker.
me. I'm 25. It's too late.
God damn it.
Can you like ever spin that? I'm like, did you ever think you'd be asking me these types of questions as your
I
daughter?
know.
Like,
He means well. He really
Yeah.
does. He means it as a compliment.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're just kind of like, all right, well.
backhanded.
Those
compliment.
whiplash compliments are so tough. After we talked about the whole oily face, shiny face thing, one of our listeners commented on one of the recent Self-Helpless videos and was like on Instagram, and was like, now all I can notice is Kelsey's gorgeous, shiny face. And it's like, well, okay. I mean, like,
He did
you
call you
said
gorgeous.
that's nice, but also, like, just maybe don't say any of the other parts of it. Just don't say that's all you notice now, or the word shiny. Like, and I don't know.
Cut the fat, man.
I'm sure he meant well, but yeah, it's just funny.
Next time, just comment hot face.
Hot face.
Hot face.
That sounds weird.
Yeah, please just comment on a photo of all three of us. Just say hot face.
Yeah.
And I'll just take it as a blanket.
I still get so uncomfortable anytime anyone comments on my appearance or body or anything. Like, even if it's nice, I'm just like, no, you're not supposed to see me.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my God.
Drink it in.
Yeah.
The nectar of social media.
Yeah. Someone told me that someone like made a comment about my ass to them, and I was just like, can we just not? Can I just
that's
wear
great.
something? It probably is,
You
but
do
it,
have a great ass, though.
I
Taylor.
know,
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's okay to
I
own
know.
it.
why does everyone see it? Like, it just, I don't know. I'm not sure why that makes me uncomfortable. But I'm just like, I'm just a funny blob.
Lean
I want to be
in.
funny and nothing else.
Lean in. Enjoy it. I have a couple updates regarding caring what people think about me, which is what we talked about in the worrying episode is my number one worry.
Everyone likes you and you're cured.
Boy, do I wish. So I was writing in my journal today, it always goes back to my journal and worrying what people think about me. And because I was listening back to the worry episode, and then I wrote in my journal, I'm worried that by opening up about saying I'm worried about what people think about me, that people will now view me as like weak and always in my head.
Oh, man.
So now I'm
Just
worried
continues.
about talking about being worried about what people think about me. I really am. I enjoy a nice spiral. Nice spiral slide. So that was
makes
just
so
a
much
little
sense,
update.
though.
And then also we had so Michelle Lee, who came on as the Reiki specialist.
Yeah.
I wanted to update you guys that she gave me a Reiki reading, a Reiki experience.
Yeah.
She came over and she was amazing. She's so good at what she does. The problem for me was that I can't like lock my cats out of where we were. So we did it in my bedroom. And if I close the door, they'll scratch. So we just had to let them be in there with me. And my cats get so excited as soon as somebody's on the ground. I have to lie flat on the ground because they're like, oh, like mom's a cat now. Like, you know, like they just love that energy that you're down there with them. And they would not leave me the fuck alone as we're trying. She's trying to guide me through this very focused meditation.
Yeah.
One of my cats is literally eating my hair. She's raking it with her claws and then munching on it, like trying to make a nest out of it. And then one of my other cats started going through Michelle's bag. So you just hear this crinkling over and over. And I started laughing. I was like, I'm so sorry. I know I'm not supposed to like break the character or whatever we're doing here, but like I'm sorry. Like I just can't take this seriously for a second. It's like, she's like, it's okay. Just, you got to try and like let it go. The cats will calm down eventually. And after the session, part of her reading of how she felt, she's like, yeah, I mean, I definitely can feel your energy of being nervous about what people think about you and like that you're worried you're not doing it right or you're worried you look stupid and that sort of a vibe.
Oh, interesting.
And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's a big thing in my life, but also heightened by that you drove out of your way to come give me this free session and my cats are ruining the whole thing. And all I'm thinking about is this girl's probably hating this. Like I'm ruining it. My cats are ruining it. And she was so zen about it. She's like, honestly, like it really didn't bother me. I wasn't thinking that much about it. So she just said it was a good reminder to know that when you are feeling self-conscious about something, just to entertain the idea that that person, not only might they not be feeling bothered by it, but they might not even notice it.
Yeah.
So that was just a good reminder.
Totally. I apologized for the same thing after my session because Maverick was like whining downstairs because we put the gate up so he wouldn't bother me upstairs. And so he was like pawing at the gate and whining. And Cam had his freaking headphones in because he was playing video games. And so I told her, I was like, I wanted to scream downstairs the whole time, like, Cam, take him on a fucking walk. But I didn't. I just sat there and like, okay, maybe he'll shut up or maybe it's, you know, you're supposed to just drown out the chaos around you.
Yeah.
But dude, it's hard, man. It's hard. But she was like, you know, it's okay. Like it's easy to find the calm when you're surrounded by silence and stuff, but it's hard to find the calm when you're like stressed out on the freeway. And that's what we want to get you to try to do.
Yeah. Because life
You're
is chaos.
fucking great, dude.
She
Good
was
job,
amazing.
Michelle.
Can't recommend
Yeah.
her enough.
Yeah.
So thanks to Michelle.
Totally.
Let's plug some show dates.
Do it.
Tay, do you have? I have to pull mine up real quick. Do you
When
have
does
yours?
this come out?
That is what I'm double checking on. I believe this comes out on October 7th.
Okay, perfect. So October 10th through the 12th this weekend, I'm at the Tempe Improv in Tempe, Arizona. The 17th through the 19th, I'm at Levity Live in Oxnard, California. October 24th through the 26th, I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. November 1st through the 3rd, I am at the Chicago Improv in Schaumburg, Illinois. Not quite Chicago. But very close. And then I'm going to run my hour, like, 2 more last times in San Francisco right before November 10th, which is my special taping for Netflix in Portland, Oregon at the Aladdin Theater. 2 shows, 5:30 and 8. Please go buy tickets if you're coming. I've gotten so many nice messages from helpsters who are like,
Helpsters are
I'm
killing
coming
it.
out. It's like really cool that people are some people are not even from Portland. They're like coming
Dude,
in. for it,
OG
which is-
Hannah's
People,
going.
buy
She messaged
plane
me.
tickets.
Yeah,
It's
I know, it's
fucking
so
cool.
nice.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
So cool.
So I'm going to be headlining Comedy Works in Denver, October 13th through the 17th. I know we've got some
Hell
great
yeah.
Denver helpsters. Please come out to that.
Love it.
I'll be headlining Southwestern University outside of Austin, Texas on October 18th. And then I just have like more colleges and clubs coming up. If you go to kelseycook.com and go to the tour tab, you can get tickets there for all that shiz.
Nice. And I will be headlining my bedroom, and Cam will be opening for me. No. I just want to give one of our helpsters a shout out. Shout out to Emma Fitzsimmons. She did the coolest thing. She sent me a logo that she made for doing it with Delaney, and I love it. It's fantastic. I have it on everything now, and she just gave that to me as a gift. And so
nice.
If you have any kind of graphic design needs of any kind, I highly recommend her work. Is fantastic. Go to efitzsimmons.com. Emma, thank you so much. I freaking love it. You're the bomb. And then I guess, if you want to work with me one-on-one with my creative consulting services, doing it with Delaney, you can message me on Instagram, and I'll send you the info.
Yes. Also, shout out to all the sweet helpsters who came out to the University of New Hampshire show. They were
so nice.
adorable and awesome. So thank you to that.
Cool.
All right. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Love you.
Bye.
You guys, we love you so much. Thank you for supporting Self-Helpless. You can follow us on social media, on Instagram and Facebook at Self-Helpless Podcast. And you can visit selfhelplesspodcast.com for all things Self-Helpless. Learn about Patreon and how to sign up. Our merch is there. Information about our Facebook group and how to join. All the episodes you can listen to are on there, a little bit about the show. Our individual sites are linked there, and our contact information, email, and P.O. box if you want to send us some love letters. And you can follow us individually as well. I am at Delaney Fisher on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and DelaneyFisher.com, where you can watch my docu-comedy special, Love at First Cousin, for free. And then DicksByDelaney.com if you want to buy some dick mugs.
Sweet. I'm at Kelsey Cook Comedy on Instagram, at Kelsey Cook on Twitter, kelseycook.com for all tour dates and merch. And my album, Savor It, is still available to buy on iTunes, and you can watch Wrists of Fury, my foosball web series that has an episode with Taylor and Delaney on the All Things Comedy YouTube channel.
And I am at Taylor Tomlinson on Twitter and Instagram, and ttomcomedy.com for my Netflix special and all live tour dates.
Sweet. We love you guys
so much.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.